Okay, at 7 o'clock, we'll go ahead and get started. I see we have lots of people here, which is really good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our bi-weekly meeting. Hopefully you can all see and hear me, which is great. Just one little reminder, if you're on the phone today, if you can mute your phone unless you're talking, that would be really appreciated because it does get a little bit echoey in such a big room from all around the Western PA. So appreciate your help with that. Here's the agenda for today, just a couple of quick review items. Session dates, again, just to remind everybody who missed it in the first meeting, the Friday is the distance ones as always. And then the Saturday, we're looking at 2 sessions during each phase. So we're gonna have no Sunday swims. We'll have 2 sessions right now planned to be in the morning and 2 sessions in the afternoon happening simultaneously in a pool that's designed for that purpose. One of the things I talked about with today with some people is a possibility of maybe looking at the girls and boys pools instead of combining age groups. So that'd be sort of an interesting look if you're somebody who's been to nationals. That's how we run nationals actually. When there's a 2-pool situation, you have the girls in one pool and boys in the other. Don't know yet, but we're going to take a look at that and see if that makes any sense. It's most likely going to go just the way you see it. And people have asked, why do we pick that? The answer is that that is based on the numbers only. So this is going to optimize the amount of pool space used and the seats in the stands. So that's how those age groups were selected. And really purely that. There's a couple other advantages to that, but we'll just go with that in this case. So Nita is going to have, she couldn't be here today, she had another obligation, but she has a scheduled conference call on October 30th with our friends from Spire to discuss a lot of the details that we need going forward. So Anita will be filling us in on that. I'll have that in the next weekend's email, any information that's important. Of course, when we meet in 2 weeks, which I'm looking at my calendar, what is that, November 9th? When we meet on November 9th, we'll discuss, or 10th, excuse me, November 10th, we'll take a look at what we learned during the facilities information visit. Clearly, we need to know all the details on the facilities so that we can make the right decision on the pools. Moving along on that, we have the ability to go ahead and use outside food for the coaches and the officials lounge. Apparently, we've had some complaints about that in the past. When Spire provided them, people weren't so happy about it. So we're going to do that from outside. That's great. System setup, we got to run 2 pools. So we've got that figured out, or if we don't, we will have it figured out. If you know that pool, you know that there's a large scoreboard at one end, and that scoreboard can be split to show results from 2 different pools. So they've already done this many times. We're not the first, so should be pretty straightforward. It'll be new and exciting for us, but others have done it already. One of the things that's big concern to everybody is how we're going to do the awards. And we are going to try to create a subcommittee of just a few of us. We don't feel like it's something that we need to have all 36 of us involved in to come up with a solution. We'll create a subcommittee that works on that. I know that'll at least include Anita and myself. If you're interested in being on the award subcommittee, let us know that. Just kick us an email, kick me an email, and we'll make sure that we get you involved in that. The issue, again, just to be clear for everybody, is that it might make sense to have 1 location for awards, or it might make sense to have 2 locations for awards. I'm not sure we're physically able to do the 2 locations, so that's why we have to take a look at it. We do believe that the awards are our priority, so we're not going to just blow them off. We want to make sure that we give everybody a chance that's earned their spots to get onto states and get on into medals and ribbons, that they get their chance to stand up there and be recognized. So that is going to happen, no question about that. It's just a matter of how to do it the right way and the best way for everybody's benefit. One other little note there that I blew by was the sound system. So if you've been to that pool, it's a difficult place to hear a lot. The person talks on the loudspeaker, and it's sort of mumbly and very hard to hear, especially on the pool deck. Don't know, I've never been in the stands there, so I don't know if it sounds better in the stands, but on the pool deck, it's an issue. So we're going to try to take care of that ourselves with some outside speakers to make sure that we can do that. We want everybody to have the best experience that they can have, including swimmers and coaches and all the people in the stands. So any questions on that stuff so far? I apologize for not stopping along the way. Any questions on the schedule or on the facility stuff?
Hi, Tom. It's Sarah Portolis from Swickley.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, I'm probably going to have a lot of questions because this is my first time helping with the districts committee. So I'm
If it
definitely.
makes you feel any better, it's all of our first times.
Oh, okay, good. um, Being that the first session is a Friday evening, do you have an idea of what time all of the volunteers should expect to be there for Friday? I'm guessing we're going to have a lot of setup and that type of thing to take care of. So do you have an idea of what time
Yeah,
we should be there?
so I don't know exactly because we'll work it around what time we can start the swims on Friday.
Okay.
So once we get the schedule nailed down for when the swims will happen, I think that we'll be able to then lay out what we're going to do Friday night, setting up for Saturday. And I think that's really what you're talking about, is getting everything ready to go for Saturday, correct? So
Yeah.
yeah, so some of that is Saturday stuff, but a lot of it, to be honest, we have to have everything up and running Friday night for the Friday night session. So it will be one pool on Friday, but we still need to at least have the mechanics of the pool set up and the results and the awards areas. So awards happens as normal, and so does the pool. You know, the races actually happen. Everything happens complete with seating and officials. It's a very normal night on Friday nights. So I hope that answers the question. We'll have to work backwards from when we actually swim on Friday to figure all that out.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. And just by the way, while you said that, you know, I can envision a lot of the stuff that we can possibly set it up Friday night. I think we don't have to worry about people stealing stuff. I don't know that for sure. That's one of the things we'll have to figure out. But for example, the baskets, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, you know, can we get all those there Friday night so that we have them? That'll be something that we have to talk about. I'd like to think yes. I know historically in our life running big invitationals, we do as much as we can on Friday night because the warm up is 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. The last thing you want to be doing is figuring out how to do something. So I think Friday's going to be a real big night. Yes, to answer really your question. And by the way, that'll be part of what we work on. You know, exactly what happens when, and we will get to all those things.
Thank
Good
you.
question. Any other questions? Okay, so let's zip over to the task list. Remember that you, in your previous emails, you have a task list, and this is what it looks like. So this is a shared file with every task that we think is on it. If you're new to the meetings this week, this has been available, and you've already seen these, I hope. Each of the taskers has had an opportunity to decide what they want to do. And as best we can tell, we're pretty loaded on this stuff. So I think the question is, does anybody have any questions on the task of one for which they might want to take control? And if so, we can talk about those right now. Okay,
Hi,
then go ahead.
this is Kim from Shenango Valley.
Hey, Kim.
I wasn't able to make the first couple meetings. Is there anything left?
Yeah, if we just zip through here.
Is it where it says volunteers? Is that what's open?
Yeah, so hopefully you're looking at my screen.
Yes.
And on the screen you see the task, the tasker. The tasker is what we need to fill out. So anything that says volunteers right now, yes, we're still looking for somebody to take over that task.
Okay.
Yep. And if it's got nothing, so it either can have nothing or volunteers in it, and we're looking for help. So those are the things that are available. Some of these, you know, we just didn't mark them yet. And you'll
Okay.
notice I tried to make a guess at when we needed them. That's what this right-hand column is. That's the target. By all means, feel free to adjust those targets if you wish. I was just speculating on targets.
Okay.
So a couple other things you can see, there's some teams who are doing things together, which, you know, I think that's wonderful. So collaborating is welcome and great to have. So if there's any of these tasks, if you're one of these teams and you're looking for some more helpers, by all means, please consider going ahead and getting some help. So right now I can see one of the things that's in here is the seating area and some of that stuff. So we still need to nail down a lot of this. It looks like we have virtually everything handled, which is very, very good. And if you know of somebody, for example, that might be interested in working on the photographer, that's a good one. You know, if you use a photographer, I believe we have somebody from Butler who's done it the last 2 years at Spire. The Butler guys might be able to suggest to us some of these alternative solutions.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, this is Melissa Perbosi from LVY.
Hello, Melissa.
How are you? Yes, I have a question about volunteering. Are you requiring volunteers to be there on Friday if you don't have any children swimming on Friday?
So what we really hope is we don't have any volunteers there when they don't have swimmers.
Okay. So
I
how
hope
do you
that
know what to
answers the
sign up
question.
for?
Yeah, we want to try very hard to avoid that. So when we talk about those kinds of volunteers, what we hope is that you'll take on a task that doesn't need your presence. So sample being our team, I'm involved with the barrel team. You know, we may only have 3 kids over the whole 3 days, or over the whole 2 days, excuse me. So my group's going to have a little bit of trouble getting some volunteers there. So we hope you can volunteer in one form or another, and we hope we have enough timers and officials, which we typically do, so that we can cover everything without people having to make a trip to Ohio even when they don't have swimmers.
Okay.
So this is where our teams need to come through big time. If you're the big teams, we hope the big teams are able to come through with lots of timers and lots of officials. And then the teams that are less representative will hopefully come up with other things that they can do either before the meet, you know, any kind of preparation projects like that that are done without your presence there. I think that would be ideal.
Okay. So is this sheet in here, you'll tell us what things, the ones that are done before preparation are obviously the ones that have like November, January. You want us to try to sign people up for those?
I think that would be great if you, yep, you're right on the topic. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So that way, yeah, we realize that not all the teams will have people there. So, or maybe you'll just have a handful of people. And so it's hard to get, you know, just that many to do work on the site. So that's where, and of course your ideas, we really hope to hear your ideas too and suggestions. So there's lots of ways to contribute, even if you're not contributing by having your swimmers be in the building specifically.
Hi, Tom. It's Sarah Bertulis again. If I can jump in and ask another question.
Please, Sarah.
We signed up for, there's off-deck category. It says swimmer messages. And then we also have the go cards, I believe it's referred to as, a little bit further up on the screen under, it's in meet messages go cards. Can you
Yeah, and that's
explain
actually the same task. So,
okay.
Yeah, so good catch on the list. So it's actually the same task.
It's the same. Okay. And is that just is it the messages that parents purchase to send to their kids, or is that, am I thinking, okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then what we do is we hang little collection spots down on the pool deck by team, and the messages are purchased, and then I guess they're on a card, and you have people to carry the card down and give it to the right team. That's how it works.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know that much about it. I only know that that's what I saw, and it looks like fun and a nice way to make money, and the kids seem to like it. So yeah, that's what those are.
Okay, then if that's the same task, then we could probably take on one more since we combine the two.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and update the list.
That's great. I love it when people say they're taking more on. That's awesome. So yeah, thanks for that. Any other comments or questions on that?
Yes. Hi, Tom. This is Janelle Samansky, representing Butler Y. And I checked with, hi, Tom. And I checked with our team, and we actually did not utilize a photographer the past 2 years when we hosted districts. They had reached out to a couple of different photographer groups and hadn't gotten anybody back. So we did not have a photographer. So that would be something new for this year then.
Great, thanks for looking into that. That's great to know. So there you go. There's a wide open one if somebody wants to jump in and get in a photographer. We've had it at some meets. You know, it's a big task. You got to have a lot of people. It's got to be an outfit that can handle that kind of stuff. But anybody that's related to that can come up with a meet photographer, that's great. And again, a lot of this stuff is bonuses. You know, If we don't have a meet photographer, by God, we can still have a meet. That's really awesome. But we want the experience to be as good as it can be for the children and for the families. So that would be a great opportunity for us, I think. So thank you so much for looking into that.
This is Melissa again from LVY. Can I ask a question about the photographer? Do you want it set up so that the parents can buy pictures there, or you just want to provide pictures at a later date? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And just my opinion, I mean, I'd love to hear from everybody. I think it's great just to, they don't need to literally take those pictures home with them at the day of the event.
Okay.
If it's something that could be provided later via a website or something like that, that's great. You know, lots of times what we've seen at event photography places like this is they'll have code or something that takes you to a website, and then you can look at the pictures before you actually buy them. So I know our team does that with our team pictures too. You know, we take the team pictures and then they just go to a website after the fact and decide if they want to buy them or not. So, but the short answer is it's anything goes. Whatever you want. There's no downside to it. Whatever, if you can find a photographer that's interested, I think we're pretty open to whatever solutions they have.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other list comments? By the way, just a reminder for those of you that weren't with us in the first meeting, if there's something in the list that you think is missing, by all means, this is a live, living, breathing document. You know, I can go in here and say, add this, and there it is. You know, so this is a shared document that's shared for a reason, so that you can all come in with great ideas, and you can suggest other things. And the way that I suggested myself is, you know, imagine you're at Districts and you're just a regular old parent, not somebody trying to run this. You know, what would you really like to have at Districts? And then let's see if we can do it. You know, we may not be able to do everything that we wish, but it's great to be able to try it. Or maybe you've been to some other meets where you saw something that you think we can take advantage of here. You know, that's really where we're coming from.
Tom, this is Sarah Pertulis again. I'm not sure if we have the answer to this yet, but I did want to throw it out there. A lot of the tasks that we have signed up for, I think many of the teams have signed up for, is going to require us to purchase items like food that we're bringing in. Do we know how that works? Is like the team paying for that up front and then they receive reimbursement after a certain point, or is there some sort of overall budget that we're working with? Or I'm not sure how that works.
No, that's a great question. So the things that we have to buy ourselves, we are working with Anita and her team to figure out the best way to handle that. I will tell you, you will be reimbursed. That I will tell you. Exactly the process by which we do that, I am less sure. So this week, I'm actually having another meeting with Anita and our treasurer so we can go through exactly that. How do we do that reimbursement? The plan is for you guys not to have to lay out a bunch of money in advance. That's not the idea. We want to try to get this done, and we want to try to get everything funded as quickly as we can. So how quickly that is, I can't tell you. I can't say. I wish I could tell you we had a WPYSL credit card and we could just share it with everybody and you could just buy it on there. But it's not going to work out quite that way. So it'll be a little bit of an issue to figure out how we get that reimbursement done. But you will be reimbursed. That I know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. So I'll have more on that in the next meeting. With any luck, we should know a little bit more about that and exactly what they think from the league, from the president of the league and the treasurer. You know, what's the best way to do that for us? I will be pushing to make sure that it's not something where you're waiting for a repayment for months. It's not going to be months. It might be weeks, but it won't be months. We'll try to make it happen very, very rapidly. Any other questions on the list? Okay, great. And again, I encourage us all to be thinking about how to fill these and whatever new ones you have. So that's that. So let's move on down the agenda. We talked about the new tasks and remove tasks. We talked about any questions. Good job. You asked a bunch of them. Officials and timers, we're going to try to do this the way we always have, just in case you're wondering about that. So it's not something where I'd originally thought that maybe there was a way we could help compensate teams that gave more or less. but in conversations with several of you, we've decided that it works just fine the way we've done it over the years. So the task is actually coordinating those officials. It is not figuring out how to pay them or anything else. And partly the reason why we believe this to be true is that there are other teams coming to West Districts that are not in our league. So we just don't want them to lay it all on us. We want this to still be something that's a requirement for the west side of the state and everybody who's in our district to help. So we just happen to be the leaders in it. And so that will get the teams from Erie and from other places that are typically involved to still be involved. So that's the plan on that.
This is actually Sue Delatopo from Resi. Can people see his screen even though we can't hear Tom?
Yeah, we can see him. It just looks like he's muted or doesn't have audio connection, but I can see the
Okay. Well, then,
PowerPoint.
can see
well,
his
in just some
district
time, I'll
basket
I'll
raffle
just go
screen.
through it. Yeah, I'll just go through it. I'm the one that actually just sent the slide. Anyway, I just threw a couple bullet points. I was thinking 25 to 30 baskets to raffle. We can always have more.
Is that each
a couple more
session?
logistics. What's that?
Each session?
I went, since we have 2 going on, I was just going to do a morning session and then an afternoon. So I said we can certainly do more, 25 to 30. Knowing the space at Spire, even if 40 some baskets seems a bit much for that space, especially if we're going to have, the cards for the kids. And then obviously we always have, merchandise there. So we can certainly do more, but I was just thinking 25 to 30 and
Total.
then have some, we can do more
So
if we had more off,
15
if
for the
we
morning,
wanted
15?
more.
Okay. I just didn't know
Yeah,
if you
or
wanted
like
like a
20.
total of 60 or a total of 30 and you were just going to
Well,
split.
I was open. I noticed that a couple more people offered to assist, so I'm certainly open to how many that we think we would actually get at the end. I think maybe 15 morning, 15 afternoon, or 20 and 20, but I would imagine going over 40 would be a bit much. I don't know what people think, but then I was thinking just basket raffles for just Saturday. Usually Fridays are pretty, there's not always, it's a smaller group of people. Not everything is put together at that point. So usually just Saturday would be the raffles. And then I wrote morning raffle, afternoon raffle. So, and then we could do colored bags to delineate which one's PM and which one's AM. I think Resi can do like 12 to 15. I have definitely a group that is very anxious to do baskets. We just started doing them and it would be fun. And then I was just thinking, can we have each team supply a single basket? If that's a little bit too much, then maybe the group that also assisted that also signed up is willing to, pony up so that we've got maybe about 15 to 20 for each session. So we can certainly talk. And then I just threw my contact information. And then I was just hoping that we could get basket ideas by the 5th, because I was thinking, not that it is bad to have like 5 wine baskets, but, maybe we wouldn't want to have, 3 or 4 game night baskets, you know what I mean? So, and then the second slide, which maybe you can't see unless Tom flips the slide, I just threw basket ideas on there. It's just the next slide that has a bunch of ideas that I threw up there.
Yep. We got them all up there. So these are great. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. We can hear you now.
Okay, great. Yeah. I'm going to, we'll just go from here. There's a great list, and thanks for doing this. My comment on it is I think it's a wonderful idea to have 12 come out of Resi and then the rest come out of every team. I'm not very good at counting, but I think we have 18 teams. So if we had 12 out of Resi and 18, that would make 30. That's 15 in each session. I think that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Why don't we just assign each team a basket so that you don't have multiple people emailing in same thing and saying, well, this one was first. Now you have to find something different and you have to find something different. Don't you think that'd be easier?
What do you think, Sue?
That's fine too. Yeah, that's fine too. I just, that's totally fine.
Like if you tell me what you want my team to do, I'll just go tell them we're doing the Steeler basket. Everybody start donating. I
fine.
think that's easier.
Got it.
Ooh, I like
Got
that. I like when you come in with instead of that'll make it easier for sure.
Yeah,
Hopefully-
I'm happy to tell if that's, if that would be easier,
Yeah,
or if
just-
we're truly missing something. Or the only other thing that I threw on that list is somebody may offer, Penguins tickets. So, if you have one of those, please, let us know. Or, if someone's willing to do Penguins
Sure.
or Steelers, people always have tickets that they may not want to use, and it's a great donation as far as that goes. I also have somebody that's willing to do, like one of the vendors we've worked with, to do a swim bag. So some of that too. So if you have anything connection contact wise, please let us know, because I don't have all of that set, but if you have someone, that would be great.
Yeah,
Can we
that's
just update if we have ideas, can we just update the working document if we, either the one that we're already using?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so that's a good idea. So Sue, I'll go ahead and add a tab for that, or if you'd like to, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, I can create a tab and just copy and paste some of this plus the ideas, and people
Hey, that
can
would be
just
great.
add, and then you can add a team. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, super. I love that. Yeah, and thanks for taking the lead on this. It's great. So this is a good example of how to make this work. And you see Sue's contact information. If you have any direct comments or contacts, stuff with her, please, by all means, reach out to her. And I like having the goal of having the ideas pretty soon. So, so that's fantastic. Thanks for doing that. Any other comments or questions on the baskets?
We're not going to stick to like a certain price range, right? We can, some of the baskets, if somebody does donate tickets, obviously that basket may be worth more than a basket that has, a couple bottles of wine or something. Is that okay to have different ranges as well?
I think it is. Sue, do you have any comment on that?
Yeah. No, I think that's fine. I mean, the baskets I've seen multiple places. They're all over the place.
It speaks to it speaks to the issue of, okay, how do you then get your income from the basket raffle? So, I think that's one of the details that we definitely need to iron out over the next few weeks. To your point, if it's Penguin tickets and we sell, $8,000 worth of tickets for the Penguin tickets, then maybe if you gave the Penguin tickets, you deserve a little better share. I think that's reasonable. So, so that's something that we're working on, and whatever it is, we'll try to make sure that it's fair for everybody and that everybody gets a chance to get some good money out of it.
You could always separate the baskets too and sell the higher price baskets sell the tickets for more money.
Sure.
If you usually, that's usually how basket
that's
parties
true.
go. Like the
Sure.
higher price.
We used to we used to
sell.
get a Penguins jersey every year at our president's meet, and we always would sell that as a separate ticket. Just,
like just a higher price instead of like $3, $5 for 5 or whatever. You do, $5 for 2, and you make more money that way.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Again, I'm not sure there's a wrong answer here, guys. We can.
No.
It's just a matter of levels of rights. This is the way I look at it. So. So great job on that, and I like that. We'll just, if you don't mind, we'll create an extra tab there, and we'll give you some look at that, and that's going to happen in this working document, which is a great idea. So we'll go ahead and make that happen on this sheet too, and I'll even change the name of that. So that's great. Let's see. So a little off track since I got kicked out of the internet, but here we go, right back on track. So we started right on cue. The task values become the goal of us figuring out what the task values are by November 24. So we want people to be working on all the tasks, and then we'll figure out how to make sure that you get a nice reimbursement for it and make a little money at it over the next couple of weeks. Anybody have any new business or old business you want to talk about?
Tom, this is Sue from Resi. So I think the other thing that we signed up for was ticketing, admission/ticketing. So I'll hold until I know, and Anita has met with Spire just so we know capacity. But I know for states, they've used Ticket Leap before to do online ordering. So I kind of explored that a little bit, but I think knowing capacity would be very helpful. Just some quick thoughts about it. I know we're close to time, but I have kids that swim morning and apparently afternoon, and one is swimming Friday. So, I'm there for the long haul Saturday.
Oh, congratulations.
So it would be Yeah, so it would be great to have an all-day band, a morning band, an
Sure.
afternoon, and then a Friday. You know what I mean? So that, you know, people aren't trying to figure out bands or whatever different days. So Ticket Leap is able to accommodate something like that. So I thought that was really kind of cool, so that you could say, well, I want a band, you know, Friday, Saturday. I want a band, you know what I mean? So that you
Sure.
would kind of know what your ticketing is. So it gives you like a bundle option, which is nice. So that
that's
you're
great.
not
Thanks for looking
swapping
into
and
that.
buying and swapping and buying different tickets. So as soon as Anita does some of that, I'll throw another slide together what I've found out so far.
Super. Thank you.
And yep.
And I think that I'm looking over my list here. I believe that meeting is taking place on October 30th. So we should know for sure
Okay.
a lot of the answers to that question, then we can move forward in that regard.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, great stuff. That's a lot of progress. I'm very pleased to see that we have everything pretty much lined up. Please, by all means, you know, have at it. So if you're not sure about how to proceed with one of the tasks, you know, reach out to myself and I'll make sure that we get the right answer. If there is any questions or answers. And then I hope you're okay with the format of us doing a bi-weekly email followed up by this. That's the plan. So far, so good, except for the loss of the internet today. Anything else from anybody? Okay, great. Thanks all.
I'm sorry.
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask a question, Tom? How do I access this list? Is it in the emails to sign up our team up for things?
Yes, and I will resend that, but it is in the original couple of emails that we sent.
Okay.
So good
could
good
you
reminder
resend
though. When I
this?
do a follow up, I'll go ahead and resend that to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure. Okay, guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you by email by next weekend, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Tom.